everyone, this is Pamela Parrish coming at you with a video chat talking about the heat wave that is hitting our area right now. I know it's not just here in Ohio, but it's across the breadbasket of America where temperatures are in the 90s with heat indices of 105, if not more than that. Be sure to check on your pets, check on your elderly, and for God's sake, don't leave your kids in a car. I know I should have more energy for these videos, but today I haven't exactly felt very good because last night I started having a bad sinus headache. I took some medication, went to bed, slept reasonably well till about 11 o'clock, went to bed by 6, got to sleep, and by 11 o'clock or so I woke up. Couldn't go back to sleep after I went to the bathroom. And sometime between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I finally get my monthly. So, yeah. Those little pains that I feel on the right side of my stomach this time, they're usually over here on the left, where I normally would feel them. But this time, it hit over here on the right. And I wound up in the bathroom between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. Got to bed by 4:30 and heard my brother come in after 5 to get ready for work. And I just wasn't feeling it today. My brother said, "You're not on the computer." And I said, "No." I said, "No, I'm not." And this was about 12:30. He came over for lunch, made me something to eat because he knew I wasn't feeling good. Because I know I have dishes I have to do. I know I have to get these animals off the bed. The stuffed toys that I have on my bed, I got to get them off. So maybe by next week, my brother could bring in my new mattress. And because my old one is pretty shot. It doesn't really hold my body, in support anymore. So it's time to get a new one. The mattress I have is now 7 years old. And they say every year you should replace your mattress because not only do you need to replace it, there's reasons for that. You spend most of your life in bed, actually, and you sweat at night, you shed skin in your bed at night, and other things happen to your bed that make it heavier than what it was when you brought it into your home. So, yeah. Let me see here. Let me ask Google how often it is you should get a new mattress. Okay, Google. How often do we have to get a new mattress?
According to Restonic, the Better Sleep Council recommends replacing your mattress every 7 to 10 years, depending on comfort and support. The truth is that the life of a mattress varies wildly, which depends on how you take care of it, how you sleep on it, and how often you rotate it.
Wow. The only thing is, you can't rotate a Posturepedic bed. Can you rotate a Posturepedic mattress?
Here's a summary from Sealy. As you lay on the mattress, a body signature will start to form in the place where you sleep. These mattresses can't be flipped because the bottom side has no comfort layers. Sealy mattresses are all no-flip mattresses, so to maintain even wear, you will need to rotate them.
Wow. So you heard the voice thing on my computer. So I started noticing I haven't been able to stay comfortable at night. So my brother says, "You must need a new mattress if you keep moving up in bed at night." And, my bed hasn't been very comfortable. I mean, sure, it'll still smooth out my ankles, the spots in my arms. But I noticed that I wasn't getting the comfort that my bed has been known to give me. This mattress that I have now is like 7 years old. I remember when they brought it in and set it up, And I had a hard time using it at first because it would be like holding you in the bed. And I really didn't have any body strength to maneuver in and out of that bed. But you know what? They had it set up in here. It didn't have any sheets on it. I sat on it and had it tilted up and everything. And my brother and sister-in-law were going to go out and get some ice cream. But, you know, I sat here and waited while they went and got the ice cream from DQ. And I was about half asleep on the bed. That's the first time I've ever done that. Not since I was little have I fallen directly asleep on a new mattress. So, yeah, my bed is about due for a new mattress. I'm trying to get my menstrual cycle out of the way, so at least I know when I go to the doctors, I'll have that out of my way. But, yeah, I'm just trying to get back on track and get things taken care of. You know, and I did some bargain hunting on eBay the other day. And I found a Teddy Ruxpin pillowcase where he's sitting on the front of the pillowcase, but he's so big, the head is like in its own separate piece. I'll have to share the picture of the pillow in the search for this video. Because it would be too big to show on camera, but it's really cute. It was only like $4, maybe $5. So I bought it, and it was clean. So I put it on my pillow, my gel pillow. That's supposed to help keep your head cooler. And so far, it fits the pillow real good. Should be some nice sleeping. Should make for some nice nights to sleep on it. You can bet I'll be taking that to my sisters. That way they'll know it's my pillow. And it might make it easier for me to sleep out at my sister's on that fold-out couch. Because lately I haven't been sleeping well. So, yeah. But, yeah, today we hit the big heat wave that everybody's been talking about on the news and local media. I think they said today it was supposed to be like 92 here today. And then 97 between Friday and Saturday. And, you know, I worry about my brother when he works out there on that dock. You know, helping people load stuff on their cars or in their cars when it's this hot. Franklin County Fair, I think, is going to be underway this week. We have the Jazz and Rib Fest here in Columbus. Then we have the Veterans Memorial Museum. And then this weekend celebrates the 50th anniversary of man landing on the moon. I think it's a pretty incredible achievement. I know it's a big, big anniversary, and they had talked to Buzz Aldrin, one of the survivors from that time. And it's like a big, big thing going on with our former astronauts. Senator John Glenn was a part of that mission. He was from Wapakoneta, Ohio, and I know Wapakoneta, Ohio, has something going on to honor him. You know, he's Ohio's native son, you know. And they talk about this type of air flight that some people can take if you have the money, where you go up in an airplane and it takes you through an area where you can become weightless for like a few seconds and experience the after effects of what space does, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm surviving the hot weather and hearing about that. But like I said, I don't think I'm going to be going to the fair because I know by Friday I got to go to the doctor, get my breast checked. Knock wood, everything will be okay. Plus, I heard that there's a channel here on YouTube dedicated to the Bee Gees, right? There's a There's a call for fans that have any rare footage that they would like to donate to help bring an official film on the Bee Gees to life. Let me look that up. Bee Gees movie. Well, that didn't help. Well, listen to this. Let's see, from Variety newspaper. Here's the link. Let me link it here first before I get started. Somebody is working on a Bee Gees documentary and a documentary on the Go-Go's. This comes off of Variety, so let me look at that for a second, and I won't bore you with the big details. This came out in February of 2019. And it says Bee Gees and Go-Go's documentary in the works, exclusive. Polygram Entertainment has unrivaled a quartet of music documentaries. Wait a minute. Polygram Entertainment has unveiled a quartet of music documentaries in development on the Bee Gees, the Go-Go's, hip-hop, jewelry, and the origins of mixtapes. Variety has learned exclusively. Polygram, which was revived in 2017 by Universal Music Group, rolled out details of the project Saturday afternoon during a pre-Grammy showcase in downtown LA. Members of the Go-Go's were in attendance along with UMG executives Michelle Anthony and David Blackman, and veteran film producer Frank Marshall, who's handling the Bee Gees documentary. Since 2017, Polygram has co-distributed Ron Howard's The Beatles' 8 Days a Week, the touring years, and let's see what else it says here. They developed several notable and upcoming projects. A Luciano Pavarotti documentary, directed by Howard, a Velvet Underground documentary, directed by Todd Haynes and Hitsville's The Making of Motown. And this one is most important to me. The Bee Gees documentary feature is authorized by Barry Gibb and the families of the late brothers Morris and Robin Gibb. The film will be presented and fully financed by Polygram, Capitol Records, and UMPG, and produced by Kennedy Marshall Company and White House Pictures and Diamond Docs. Marshall is directing and will produce with Nigel Sinclair from 8 Days a Week and Mark Monroe and White Horse Pictures. Jeffrey Fiesta. The film will have complete access to all the Bee Gees archives and will follow the group, which formed in 1966. I think it was a bit earlier than that, because they show clips of them from 1964 or 65 to be singing together. They've been singing a lot longer than that. At least I think. Let me kill the video that's trying to run here. I don't know what it's doing, but it better quit. But it says, the group formed in 1966 by this article and went on to have a run for another 3 decades. I have had an incredible, fortunate life, and think back to the good times with my beloved brothers with a huge sense of awe. Brother Barry Gibb had said, and time gives us all a chance to look back and celebrate with a new perspective. I know our family is in excellent hands with Frank, Nigel, and the talented team of filmmakers behind this documentary. I'm eternally grateful and excited to be able to share this unique journey with audiences around the world. Marshall had told Variety that began working on the project when he met Barry Gibb in the 2015 Grammys. He teamed up with Sinclair last year and plans to finish the film by the end of this year. I've always been impressed by the longevity of the Bee Gees, Marshall added. I reached out to Nigel because of 8 days a week, and I saw that and said, I want that. But it says Showtime announced on Saturday that it has acquired the U.S. rights to the untitled Go-Go's documentary and plans to release the film later this year, while Sky Arts in the UK broadcast partner Alison Elwood directs the film, and Corey Russell and Trevor Burney produces the Go-Go's. The Go-Go's rose to fame following the release of their debut album, Beauty and the Beat, which was released in '81. We lived and we survived it, says the Go-Go's. Now we're looking back on our history through this film, and we appreciate our journey, the laughter, triumphs, and struggles as a band. We hope the documentary will show the world what pioneers we were and how our experience paved the way for other musicians. Polygram unveiled the working title of the Mixtapes project, From Scratch, How Mixtapes Changed Music Forever, said Def Jam and Saboteur Media were also producing, with Omar Acosta directing. Acosta, Nick Questhead, Restrepo, David Kennedy, and Mixtape King Tony Touch serve as producers. Touch is also the music supervisor. The project is launched as a celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Def Jam label. It will include recording of several, exclusive material from Def Jam artists from scratch. We'll explore the evolution of mixtapes, and hip-hop artists and record promoters found themselves torn between the need for credibility and the piracy inherent in the medium. A limited edition cassette will be released by Def Jam in conjunction with the film. The hip-hop jewelry movie called Ice Cold, directed by Karim Gill, as a production from Polygram Entertainment. Mass Appeal and Quality Control producers are Kevin Coach, Kay Lee, Quality Control, Pierre Lee Thomas, Quality Control, and Daniel Selger, UMG/Polygram. Let's see here. Ice Cold features artists including Little Baby, Little Yachty, Dave East, DJ Mustard, Talib Kweli, Slick Rick, Eric B. and Amp, and B. French Montana, and more. So, yeah. Let's see what they're saying. One person named Daphne says, Will the Bee Gees documentary be at the theaters? I hope so, because I don't have access to anything but our 4 local stations. Yep, still using the old rabbit ears. Another one from February says Ronnie Old Son, which formed in 1966. Variety, please tell me how a group which made its LP debut in 65, their single debut in 1963, and their first TV performance in 1960 and radio debut in 1959 didn't form until then. You guys really need to step up your fact checking. And it's the first time that I know of in a long time that I've caught a nationally recognized newspaper, an entertainment newspaper, not up to date on their facts. And I was just a blurb in my daddy's pants. I wasn't even on the planet yet, and I know that they have recorded longer than 1966. They were singing, the Bee Gees were singing since they were children. They started in the 50s and made their big mark between 63 and 65, and then really hit their mark in the early to mid 70s. And then they went through a burnout period in the 1980s They put out some good shit, but was largely ignored by most radio stations here in the States. So, yeah. But Variety magazine needs to get their facts straight. But I think really the only one I'm really interested in is the Bee Gees documentary, because let me look here on YouTube. Bee Gees channel on YouTube. Yeah, let's see here. Here we go. See if it'll come up. Uh-huh.
If you write any...
I knew if I looked here.
Writing's not that easy, but
Okay. Let's see. They have a video on their channel that is featured right now. And it's called Bee Gees, Contribute to the Legacy. And there's a link on the bottom of that video. If you have any rare footage, any rare audio, they have a link below that you can click to. And that says here, the video was published on July 10th of this year. The team behind the first ever authorized Bee Gees documentary needs your help in telling the band's timeless story. Be a part of this monumental project and submit your photos and videos of the Bee Gees now. And it takes you to the link. Bee Gees documentary. We want to hear from you. In fact, I think I'll link the video or the page. It's titled bgsfilm.2020.com. And it says Bee Gees documentary, and you can click on the highlighted page, it'll highlight project synopsis, and you can go back home if you want to. But on the page it says Bee Gees documentary. We want to hear from you. If you or someone you know has video or audio, let me try that again. If you or somebody you know have audio or visual materials of the Bee Gees, we want to hear from you. We're looking for photographs, video footage, audio recordings, and concert footage to help tell their incredible story. Appropriate credit will be given or submitted material if used in the film. So, any fans that were lucky enough to go and see these guys, which I wasn't. Like I said, I grew up in the era of the disco. I grew up in the disco era. I wasn't lucky enough to be one of those fans that had the money to go down to Florida, visit them in Middle Ear, take tons of pictures, meet them at shows, the usual stuff. But it says here on their page, first ever authorized Bee Gees documentary in production. The first ever authorized documentary feature film about the legendary band the Bee Gees has been announced. The documentary, authorized by Barry and the families of Morris and Robin Gibb, will be presented and fully financed by Polygram, Capitol Records, and UMPG, and directed by Academy Award-nominated Frank Marshall, who will produce the film with multiple award-winning producers, Nigel Sinclair, Janine Effant Fiesta, and Mark Monroe. The documentary, which will have complete access to all the Bee Gees archives, seeks to reveal the character of the Bee Gees as a group and as individuals, as well as the magic and mystery of their musical genius. It will explore the sometimes unsung nature of the band's brilliance, their astonishing songwriting prowess, and their distinctive ability to connect with each cultural era, while always returning to the same emotional core. The remarkable relationship between three extraordinary talented brothers. Before I read any more, I wonder if it will touch on Andy Gibb. Because he is a Gibb brother, after all. It's not just the three. And it says here, Nicholas Farrell, president of White Horse Pictures, will serve as executive producer, along with Ryan Suffern of Kennedy Marshall, Mark Monroe will also serve as lead writer with Cassidy Hartman, serving as consulting writer on the project. Ali Parker will serve as the supervising producer. Creative team will be joined by co-editors Derek Boonstra, The Hunting Ground, and Robert Martinez of the Beatles' 8 Days a Week. Barry Gibb has commented, I've had an incredibly fortunate life to think back to the good times with my beloved brothers with a huge sense of awe. And time gives us all a chance to look back and celebrate with a new perspective. I know our family is in excellent hands, with Frank, Nigel, and a talented team of filmmakers behind this documentary. I'm eternally grateful and excited to be able to share our unique journey with audiences around the world. Among the greatest songwriters of a generation, Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb created a catalog of songs that are incomparable, says Gearson. Through the vision of our legendary director, Frank Marshall, with the support of our trusted partners at Capitol, Nigel, Sinclair, and Polygram Films are thrilled to share the Bee Gees' incredible story and legacy of music with fans around the world. Frank Marshall commented, I have long admired the extraordinary, rich talent of the Bee Gees, and I'm looking forward to be working with Barry as well as Dewena and Yvonne to tell the powerful story. I'm delighted to be working with Nigel, Mark, Janine, and the great team we've put together, and grateful for the support and all the folks at Universal Music Group. Nigel Sinclair added, this is the story of how three brothers with prominent musical gifts created music that touched the collective unconsciousness across 5 continents for 50 years straight. It is brotherhood and family, creativity, entertainment, joy, and tragedy. We all feel very privileged to be involved. But yeah, here's the link to the Bee Gees' actual page. If you want to look at the project, I'll take you directly to the page, so you don't have to watch that video. But for the Bee Gees, I have it linked up right here. The Bee Gees project should have been done when Robin, Morris, and maybe Andy were alive. I don't want to hear I just don't want them to be remembered how they died. I want to remember for the spark that they left in the world, I know Andy died of tragic circumstances. I know Morris certainly died from tragic circumstances, as well as Robin. But one thing that the story, I hope it covers, is why Barry wasn't getting along with all his brothers. I wish I could contribute something to this documentary, but I don't have any personal footage that I would be able to share. So, talk about feeling left out in the lurch. But, let's see what it says here. One person asked, will it be like Bohemian Rhapsody or Rocket Man? Having a huge theatrical release like that can really introduce the Bee Gees yet again and tell the real story. Another one says, well said, 100% agree. And I finally said, I wish I could contribute because I feel like I've been left out in the vacuum. I've always wanted to see them, One person said 23 hours ago, there will never be a band equal to the Bee Gees. Another one says, wow, oh my God, just amazing. Love and have always loved your awesome, amazing songs and music, and I will love it and you guys forever. Let's see. And I said on the vlog here or on their video, here's what I said over 2 days ago. Damn it, I wish I could take part. I have one thing to ask. Can you please find and post Bee Gees Going Home? I remember that on Disney Channel when they were recording High Civilization. Maybe I should go down into my videotape archives and maybe flip through some of my old videotapes, fast forwarding or rewinding tapes or finding a way to dub tapes and get it to the appropriate people at the company that are making this movie. But I always thought Capel Road was an authorized biography because they had Robin and Morris were alive at the time, and they talk about their humble beginnings growing up in England, then immigrating to Australia to avoid their kids going into the system because they've had a tendency of being in real trouble with the police. So they said, if you don't want to see your kids arrested, immigrate to Australia. And that's how it all began, I guess the parents found out the boys could sing. They thought it was a song on the radio, and somebody says, no, it's the boys sitting in there on the bed singing. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this documentary film tells their story and tells it right. Because I read that Variety article where it says they formed in 1966. They've been around much longer than that, from 58 through up to now. They've been doing it that long. Sometimes singing at racetracks, doing acetates for the midday platter chatter show, and going up through the flower power era of the 60s to the Nixon Watergate era of the 70s, and the birth and death of disco, to glam rock, to 80s rock, to somehow survive the grunge era into This Is Where We Came In. And then the tragic death of Morris hit, and a lot of people thought that was the end of the Gibb brothers as a whole. And I've come to realize that groups like that, they'll die if you don't take care of the legacy. You may think I'm weird, but it's the truth. Because I know when Mo died, a lot of people call Morris Gibb Commander Mo, or Mo for short. He was the funny man. He was the man in the middle. And to me, he was like the bridge that kept the group together. And when Mo died, a lot of people were saying, will Barry and Robin ever get together again? But as I said, maybe the documentary film will focus on why they weren't getting on toward their last years. I mean, Barry's had rows with Andy. He's had fallouts with Morris and Robin. And they died when they really weren't getting on. And that's sad. That's a horrible way to leave your body. If you're not fully resolved, of course you're going to have survivor's guilt. And I know Barry is going through that. But a lot of people call him the alpha male, or what they call the glory hog, because it seemed like he took more of the spotlight from Morris and Robin and possibly Andy. Because I know I grew up listening to Andy since I was about 6 years old. Andy was my first crush. Robin was my main love, and he's still my main love. Morris was known as the funny man. He and my older brother would get along great because they told dirty jokes and always liked to make people laugh. But this new film that's coming out with the Bee Gees, check the sidebar if you have any footage you want to contribute. If anybody, for the love of God, if you have any Going Home, if you have the German video, the High Civilization tour video that was only available through their fan club, if you have video of that, send it in to the producers. Maybe they'll use it for the documentary. I'm hoping. I wish I could send that in, but I don't want to get busted, People are looking for home movies. People are looking for audio tapes. Maybe meet and greets if possible. So If you have any footage you want to put in that, be sure to send it to them because they said it might be finished by the end of the year. So let me find that video for the Bee Gees. And it says, contribute to the legacy. I want you to watch that. Give me a minute to copy, and I'll post it to the control booth. But the video that I am getting ready to post to you will tell you all you need to know. And if you want to go to the actual website, I have provided that too. So there you go. There's all the information you'll need. You know, and I was one of those poor, unfortunate bitches that wasn't lucky enough to be old enough to go to a concert, you know, and in 1990, I was just fresh out of high school, trying to get my feet into the water they call adult life. Because I was finishing high school and they were pushing my ass out into the real world. You know, when I heard about Hurricane Andrew hitting in 1992 and how they were going to have a concert down there in Miami, I wanted so badly to go. And I had serious designs on Robin at the time, and I pitched a hell of a fit. I had my old room downstairs in my big basement, and I would be sitting there watching videos and watching anything I could on the Bee Gees, whether it was Bee Gees Going Home or the 1989 concert when VH1 was not really a regular channel where I lived. But it would come on, and I would see parts of the 1989 concert, and it was just like a match. You know, it was just like, you know, what I saw as a kid really was embedded into me as an adult. A lot of people gave me grief because I like Robin. There's just something about Robin's voice that pulls into a lot of young girls' hearts. You know, a lot of people see, you know, they think of Barry Gibb, they think of the Bee Gees, and they think of Robin as the guy from the film Secret Agent. You know, and they talk about one song that he did called Boys Do Fall in Love. And one of the video people over there in another country said, Robin Gibb goes Star Wars. You know, their careers as solo artists were kind of middle of the road in terms of success. But when all three got together, it was something that could never be matched. But, you know, a lot of fans give other fans grief for a particular member. You know, there's a certain voice that catches a person and it stays with them. You can't change that, you know, and I think that's what the documentary should talk about too. You know, they should have people go in for interviews. Barry Gibb says this is for people who like the Bee Gees as a whole, or if they want to think about their favorite member, it's okay. I'm good with that. You know, it's not fair to single people out. You know, you don't have to tell them, oh, you're not a Bee Gees fan if you don't like all three. You know, people like all three for varying reasons. But I always thought Robin Gibb had something happen to him, maybe in a previous life, that made him feel things so deeply. Country Lanes is one favorite of mine that I could listen to time and time again. And there's another one called Love Me from, I think, Children of the World. And another one that haunts me is Don't Cry Alone. That was posted on his final album, St. Catherine's Drive. And I haven't listened to that whole album all the way through. I can't. Because it would be like me saying goodbye, and I don't want to say goodbye. Think of the song Immortality that they did with Celine Dion. I can't say goodbye to Robin, and I'll never say goodbye to Robin. And his death happened at a time when I think my family was going to go through a major change, though we didn't know it at the time. But my mom called me into the front room one day. Her computer is still set up over here. And if it wasn't so messy, I would film in there. You know, my mom said, come over here, Pammy. I'm like, okay, Mom. And I'm doing games or something. And I stopped what I was doing. I'm like, Mom, what do you want? And she goes, look at this. Do you read this thing called TMZ? And I'm like, no. I said, I think of them as tabloids. Why? And she says, look at this. And it showed a picture of Robin Gibb looking gaunt. She says, that's that Robin Gibb you like, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah. And she says, well, something's wrong with that guy. He's got cancer. And I'm like, are you sure, Mom? And she goes, honey, he doesn't get that skinny over nothing. There's something going on with him. You know, when I started watching news reports, mostly online, and maybe a few from Inside Edition or something, and I didn't want to believe that beautiful guy who lost his younger brother to drugs and alcohol, and myocarditis was the main cause of death, Morris Gibb to a twisted intestine, and Robin nearly succumbs to the same thing, but they save him, but they give him maybe another year to 10 years of life, and then he dies in 2012. You know, and it's a horrible way to see a life go out, a life that was so big, so huge, so bright. And I heard stories floating around that Robin had said, maybe all the things that have happened to us, the death of Andy, the death of Morris, and now I'm dying, maybe it's payback for all the fame that we had. And I'm thinking, oh, God, no, I don't want it to be true, you know? And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't want it to be true. You know, and then when it looked like he was getting better, you know how they say it's the calm before the storm? They showed a picture of him wearing a yellow suit with a black t-shirt, and he looked really good. And I thought, well, good, he's getting back on the mend. And then when I heard he died, I couldn't cry. I couldn't think about it. I couldn't talk about it. But yeah, those are the things that life throws at you sometimes. And I hope that's what the new Bee Gees documentary will talk about. You know, again, before I get off, the Bee Gees have talked about having fans contribute to their legacy. And like I said, you know, if I had a bunch of footage where I could send it in, you know, I would love to take a part in that. And they said maybe by the end of the year, the film would be finished. If you have any concert footage, photos, audio, anything from your meet and greets to maybe some footage from that German concert from 1991 that isn't available through video circles. Because the video concert I talk about is called the High Civilization German Concert and Interview. Now, the interview is done in German. I had it on tape years ago, but as people that love videotapes so much would play those tapes until they wore out or broke. One of my friends posted it on YouTube, and I may post it here, but I don't know. I was thinking about maybe sending it in to the video company. But I don't know. But I'm hoping this Bee Gees movie will be done with love and respect, not just to Barry, Robin, and Mo, but, you know, if they have to talk about Andy, let's talk about the joy he brought and the smile he had, and not about all the problems that he had. I mean, the VH1 Behind the Music did enough of that. Talking about drugs and drink, and made him really look like the pisshead that most people think of him as. In fact, some schmoo called him a deadbeat dad. But, you know, when you got a little girl in the mix, when he's going through all that problem, You know, the mama didn't want that daughter around all them drugs. So, I mean, he would talk to his little girl from time to time on the phone, but they rarely saw each other. And maybe it was for the best, but we don't know. But the documentary will tell you that life's precious. Don't waste a minute. But check out those links that I have provided. Um, you know, talking about the Bee Gees and different things going on. And, you know, I'll probably get back on here between 6 and 7. I want to get off, try and rest a little bit more, and then I'll get back on. So, again, if anybody has any footage that they would like to contribute to this Bee Gees project that went out over the internet on the 10th of July, be sure to get your pictures, your audio, your video in at a good, crucial time, because it'd be the first time that they have ever asked fans for help. So I'm hoping you all will contribute to the Bee Gees story. I know I wish I could. I almost wish I had kept my Bee Gees quarterly magazines. But like I said, very few have survived over 30 years. So, yeah. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right? Take care of each other. Stay cool. Check your neighbors, your elderly, and keep your pets indoors as much as possible. I heard that a couple of the animal shelters here in my town have had to put animals down because they have suffered from heat problems and various illnesses. And I think here it's supposed to be like 97 on Saturday and 97 on Sunday. So take care of each other and lather up on that sunscreen, the wide brim hat, and the sunshades. Me, I'll probably just be inside all weekend. So talk to you later, people. All right? But check out those links, and I'll get back with you soon. Bye.